Yes, it's
counts for something.
And
of course,
Africa
counts for something.
won't get a better chance
than this.
This is the best chance because we have all the votes now. We can get all the votes we want because as soon as Mitchell Platini is yanked off, it's an open race. Everybody will now have to, align with their continent.
If
well, I still feel strongly that
he might not contest.
He might not. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, interesting days ahead. We'll see how everything pans out, and we'll see who becomes the next FIFA president. And incidentally, Sepp Blatter had a breakdown, but he's out of the hospital. I don't know if he's related to everything that's happening.
Of course, he has to be related. He's under the spotlight for the wrong reason. So
he's out of the woods. He's out of the woods. He's fine, and he's promised to challenge the suspension. That his integrity has been called to question. So we'll see how all of these things will pan out in the days to come. All right, we're gonna have to go on a break, catch our breath, and come back home. Talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. The big one tomorrow, Nigeria against Swaziland, is the big one tomorrow. So we'll go on that break. When we come back, we'll talk more on Sports Tonight.
First of all, it's not quite nice for the boys to leave the national team, on ceremoniously like that. It's not quite nice. I'm not happy with that situation. But then, if you leave, it is a question of soldier go, soldier come, Barak Tanda. National team, if I tell you that I play for Nigeria, will you believe that I play for Nigeria? No, you won't, because you did not see me play. But I played and I left the stage. It's a stage. You get there, you do your dancing, and you step down. Someone else comes up to do that. So I think, then again, we have 1,000,001 players. It's not purely dependent on the coach to know what he wants. Go in there, pick the players, find time. My only fear with our national team always is that we don't spend much time with ourselves because the players are busy out there. Unlike those days where most of them were playing at home, most of us were playing at home. I always spend 1-2 months in the camp. But now, if the players, I always pray that the players should spend about 3-4 weeks together. Once our team is able to spend 4-5 weeks together, but playing against Swaziland, I don't think it's going to be a problem. We should be able to beat Swaziland because they are afraid of us, we are afraid of them. So that's what the game is all about. There are no minors anyway. We have to be careful.
All right, welcome back. So let's move on with the show. Well, we can authoritatively tell you that the Super Eagles have landed in Swaziland and they are set for that crucial encounter with Swaziland. So they have arrived in Lubamba, where the game will take place. All right, so let's give you some match details now that you know that the Eagles are ready for that cracker 2018 FIFA World Cup. Some match details for you. The game will take place tomorrow, as you already know, at the Somoholo National Stadium in Lubamba. The capacity of that stadium is 20,000. Like we told you yesterday, the surface is artificial and it's going to be played 6 p.m. Nigerian time, 7 p.m. local time, 6 p.m. Nigerian time. So guys, let's talk this through quickly. What are you expecting tomorrow? The surface is artificial. Most of our players love to play on natural grass, apart from the few guys who play on the domestic scene, and maybe Ahmed Musa, who plays regularly on an artificial, So are we starting that game with any disadvantage, Julian?
I think we'll start with a disadvantage because we are the away side. We know that the fans will definitely be on the part of the home side, and that's definitely going to be to our disadvantage, even if we see away teams beating teams convincingly at home. But this continental football, this African football, and like I always say, African football has evolved to the extent that there are no guarantees you'd win. Now, in the last round of qualifiers for the Nations Cup, Sierra Leone and Ivory Coast played, it was goalless. We could see some upsets here and there. Morocco lost, and a host of other big teams were not able to win. Even when we went to Tanzania in Ulises' first game in charge, we saw how he struggled to play at the goalless draw. So the Swaziland team has also shown that they can score goals. Yes, they beat Djibouti 8-1. We are not Djibouti, but if you score 8 goals over 2 legs, then it shows that you can get. I mean, they should be taken seriously. And our defense have really not been too stable. But with the coming of Ulises, 6 games he has been in charge, the team is beginning to pick itself. Now you could confidently beat your chest and say Carl Ikeme will definitely be in goal. Likes of Elder Senior Chejili will start from the left full back. Shio Abdullahi will start from the right full back. Ife Ambrose, who happens to be the spokesperson of the team, will definitely start, and a host of other players. So I think gradually Olise is beginning to get this team.
Okay.
But mentally, those guys need to be very aware because it's a continental game and we have to win convincingly.
Okay, let me stop you there, Julian. I'm told that Michel Obi joins us now live on the program. Michel Obi needs little or no introduction to the sports broadcaster, a veteran journalist, a broadcaster of repute on both radio and TV, and he's also the president of the International Sports Press Association. So, hello, Michel.
Yeah, good evening, my brother.
Good evening. Well, let's quickly talk about the Super Eagles, and let me ask you first that what are your expectations from the game tomorrow?
My expectations?
Yeah.
Come to think of it, this is one hurdle we need to cross and cross it in style, perhaps to win back the confidence of the Nigerian football fans. We need to go at it with everything we have and perhaps make a statement starting next year that Nigeria is ready to at least go through the Rubicon.
Okay. If we scale this hurdle, like you have said, what are the things that we should be doing we're building a team now, but what are the things you think is missing and the things you think we should do to get us to a point where we can confidently sit back when we're playing against anybody?
I don't want to use that phrase, building a team. For how long will we continue building a team? Every building must at least at one point in time come to a position where people can inhabit it. So I don't want to imagine that we are still building a team. I want to believe that we will have a collection of boys who will not only be regulars, but who will have the force of the passion of giving their best, and that they can be regular and know exactly their target, which is to not only give us a World Cup ticket, but the Nations Cup ticket. And I want to think that starting January, when we have the African Nations Championship, the boys will be in the mood to go the whole hog. But then let them cross this little hurdle at the stage.
Okay. I know that being a patriotic Nigerian, you would expect the Eagles to win. But let me put you on the spot and say, what do you think is could be the possible outcome of that game tomorrow?
No, if we can't even get it right here, then we better pack it up and start thinking about the young ones and thinking about tomorrow. We just have to get it right with the collection of stars that have come to the camp and given even the measure of the expenditure that we'll put in place for the game in Swaziland and the return leg in Port Harcourt. Something good needs to come up. And I think Sunday Olise needs to understand that he has a huge task of not only winning, but winning in style.
Okay. Before we let you go, let me quickly ask you this, since you talked about the coach. It's too early to judge him, but what's your impression? Is he the man for the job? Is he capable of taking us to the promised land?
It will be preemptive of me to start situating a man who is within the political fold. We've seen politicians come to the sports ministry and do what they think it's necessary for them to continue with their political foray. But I think sport needs not only a technocrat to meet the measure of our master plan, which is perhaps to excel in the continent and be a force globally. I want to believe that Plateau State has given us the best at one point in time. They can afford to provide another good sports minister this time. We have had a succession of them from Plateau State, from Makaku to Damisi Sango to Akiga, name them, from the same zone. So excellence for them should be an opportunity to make a difference. I think it's too early to judge any politician, but next time we should stop moving forward in reverse gear.
All right, thank you, Mitchell, for your time on the show. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure also, and of course we'll be looking ahead to the boys in Swaziland.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, yes, said a lot, and even one or two comments about the man in the saddle, but that wouldn't be our discussion tonight. Let me quickly allow you to make your point, Nii. he said something that I find interesting, that if we lose that game, we'll probably have no business being in it in the first place.
Well, I don't want to really say he's been a little bit harsh.